Hey there again, it's Kulipup once again, with my eyes popping out of my head. Radio. So this is going to be part two. I did the live Q&A last night, or yesterday evening anyway. And it was a wonderful amount of questions I got. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get through all of the questions that were submitted to me. So I am coming back to, of course, re-answer some of the written questions that were submitted to me, and of course answer any other questions that were submitted to me afterwards as well. Hello Amishtal, the beautiful Amishtal, as always. Thank you for joining me. So let me just get up all of my bits and pieces. Denise, hi sweetheart. Yes, I have some of your questions to answer also for this evening. So I'm just getting everything here and making sure we have all of the questions. I'm making sure I've got everything. Absolutely everything. So give me just a hot second. I know it is somewhere here. And Denise, I'm actually specifically trying to find yours as well. So I'm going to have to open this up. Anyway. Okay, Brad, this is not for a reading. This is just for general live Q&A part two, where I am now going, just re-answering some of the questions that I missed from last night. Do not worry though, I do plan to actually go and do some readings as of tomorrow on the Frequency 51 Psychic Readings page for tomorrow. So if you are looking for a little bit of Truth of the Heart readings or some pendulum readings, we can definitely get that done for tomorrow or later on throughout the week. But there's far too many questions that need answering at the moment, so I do have to get on with that one, my dear, for this time. Here we go, Denise. Okay, wonderful. So I have some questions here. Now, by all means, please, thank you everybody who's just joined as well. If you have some more questions that you didn't get to ask during yesterday's live Q&A, please, you can do them now. But I am going to be going through a lot of the pre-written or pre-submitted questions as well. So while I'm waiting for some questions from you guys that you may have forgotten from yesterday, I'm just going to continue on with what we got here. So there was a couple of questions that were personal. So I'm not going to answer those personal questions, but I am going to go through the general questions that we have. So, I'm going to go down here. So the last one we were looking at was one submitted by Amishtal about twin flames and so forth. Are there, triplets and so on? And so that question was answered last night. So we're going to continue on, and the first person that we have below that is actually Denise. So hi Denise. Hello sweetheart. I'm so happy that you are here and you get to experience the questions and the responses like right now. So Denise, you ask, does wearing a wig affect your frequency? That is a fantastic question there, Denise, because I know that there's going to be a lot of individuals who do have aesthetics that they do wear, especially whether that be for fun or whether that be because you do have a specific ailment or anything like that, and you're wearing it for confidence or whatever. That's absolutely fine. Wearing a wig does not affect your frequency. Your frequency will not either lower or higher because you have a specific wig on. However, the only way it can really affect you is if, for example, it's too tight and you're getting annoyed. The emotion of annoyance will affect your frequency. The emotion of frustration will affect your frequency. So if you are wearing a wig and it is causing you annoyance or frustration, that's when I would say remove it. However, if you are wearing it and you feel perfectly comfortable and you are within your own and you are happy and you are progressing and developing, then go for it. It's not going to make a difference, right? It is the emotion that makes the difference, not necessarily what it is that you are using. If you find that it is a good tool and you enjoy it and it fulfills your experience and brings you happiness, then great, go for it. So you're absolutely fine there, sweetheart. Now, Denise, you had a couple of questions, so I'm just going to kind of couple these together, and so we can get all of your bits kind of sorted, and we'll move on. So you also asked, this game that we're in, Is it the battle of the mind or heart? Because everything I block my negative entity in my mind, my heart gets in the way. My heart can mislead me sometimes. Ah, Denise, that is an absolutely excellent question. However, it's a little bit flipped. It is a battle of the mind, right? You are battling your entities with your heart. Your heart never misleads you. All right? I'm going to say that once again. Your heart never misleads you. Your heart is your guide. Your heart is your higher consciousness. Your heart is nothing but love. Your mind is what gets cloudy. Your mind is where your entity can reside and start to control and manipulate. So when you say, everything I block my negative entity in my mind, my heart gets in the way. Well, for me, I would take that as a signal. If your heart seems to be getting in the way, it means that it is trying to foil the plans of your entity. All right? Listen to your heart, not your head in this, because this is a battle. Right? As you said, it's a battle of the mind, but it's not a battle between consciousness in terms of, of this entity versus your conscious entity or anything. No, it's the battle of your heart over your mind, over these entities. You want to be living within your heart, within your flow, within the natural beauty and love that comes from your energy, but it only comes from here, right? So that is definitely what you want to kind of consider in terms of getting your head around it. Now, you also did ask as well, and I love you dearly as well, my love. You said, I was studying quartz crystal and I was confused about the animals. I love all animals. Espresso, my pit bull, and he's just 2 years old, and I was wondering, do animals have a soul? And I know that karma doesn't exist. And lastly, and then we were talking about the wig. Okay. And you said, my intent is to get my crown of glory now that I know who I am and my purpose. And I love you dearly, more, and I love you so much, sweetie. Now, okay. So when it comes to animals, I need everybody to understand that an animal is a program, okay? They don't have souls. Animals don't have souls. You do have like entities and so forth, but they don't have a soul. They are not immortal beings. Once the animal is born into this or is created in this vessel that it makes up espresso or that makes up Shayla or so forth, when they pass away, that is it. However, their program, so Shayla as the program, can be reprogrammed into another animal, if that, or not another animal, but into another cat frequency, right? It won't be exactly the same, but it is very similar. So the same way that this mug is a mug, but it's still clay, if that makes sense. Its frequency still resides on the frequency of clay. However, specifically right now, it is this mug, right? Same thing with animals, right? Shayla, I'm going to use my cat. I'm going to use Shayla as an example. Shayla is now born in as Shayla, and she's now the mug, right? However, when this mug breaks, it's still clay on the inside. It's still the overall is clay. So again, that energy that created Shayla goes back into the other cat frequency energies, and when another cat is required, it goes back into that. So they don't have souls. They're not immortal. You not going to travel with you, but they do help to enrich your experience within this game of life, or help to help you learn a lesson in some way, or help you be your familiar, your companion, or whatnot. But they are assistants in this game of life to whatever the goal is that you need to learn or that you need to experience. So I hope that helps with that. Now. And you also asked, I know that karma doesn't exist. And lastly, oh yes, if you're asking if karma does exist or not, you're absolutely right. Karma doesn't exist. It's all about lessons. Lessons repeat themselves, or you stay within the same lesson until you've figured it out. A lot of people would call that karma, but to me, it's just repeating the grade. All you need to do is graduate from that grade, graduate from that lesson, and then you'll find that it never happens again. There is no right or wrong in terms of the lesson in itself. However, there is good versus maybe not so good decisions, right? So it's all about your decisions and where you choose to focus your attention. So for example, Denise, if you were in a past life, right, and you were taken advantage of in that past life over and over and over again by your family, by your friends, or by your so forth. Now, you passed away in that life always being taken advantage of because you never stood up for yourself or you never said no. So now you are born into this life, but you didn't learn the lesson in that life. So now as Denise, you're being taken advantage of. People don't want to, treat you with respect and so forth. And it is because you have not learned the lesson, right? You have not learned the lesson as to what it is you need to do or how to get around this, which is to basically say no and stop. So again, it seems like karma is coming back to you, right? It seems like it could be karmatic, but at the end of the day, it's not. It's just the fact that you haven't changed the pattern. You haven't changed the cycle that you are going through. Well, I'm not going to say cycle. I'm going to say the pattern that you're going through. So it's just up to you to change that pattern, and then you're absolutely right. Karma doesn't exist. It is all about the acknowledgement, the awareness, and the understanding of what the lesson is. Figure that out and you've got it, right? Literally. That's all it is. Because we are here to learn lessons at the end of the day. Hello, Regina, my sweetheart. Okay. And you said, my intent is to get my crown of glory now that I know who I am and my purpose. Wonderful, sweetheart. I hope so. Because when you achieve these things and when you have the basis of them and you go further, the world around you changes drastically. Your eyes are truly opened and you do really start to walk within your own self. And it is absolutely amazing the power that you can behold while yet having absolutely physically nothing at all. But yet knowing that, wow, whatever I think of like a lucid dream, it happens, right? It's amazing like that. Okay, so Denise, my sweetheart, I hope though that answered your questions there. Let's go on a little bit more here. Sasha, here we are. We have this. Am I on the right path, and is there a job opportunity for me that will better myself? Sasha, this is literally a live general Q&A, so I'm not doing kind of personal questions. It is always going to be more of group questions or answers that can benefit absolutely everybody. But what I would say though is if you do want the answer to that question specifically from me, I'm going to be doing some readings specifically tomorrow. I can't tell you exactly what time, but around tomorrow or possibly tomorrow or Tuesday, in the psychic readings group, where I will be on here with my pendulum and we will be doing some truth of the heart readings and pendulums and so forth. And please ask ask your personal questions there as well so that I can focus, because otherwise if I answer your question, then I gotta answer everybody's question, and then I won't answer any of these questions, which always happens because I talk a lot. So I hope you feel me on that one, my sweetheart. Okay, so let's go on to, since I don't have any further questions here, I'm going to go on to, I think we have Lele. Lele and Annette. Lele Annette, sorry. Goodness, me and names right now. Oh, sorry, Lele Annette was asking a personal question, so we're going to go down a little bit more. Kirsten Grammel, when exactly was Jesus born, and is his spirit with us now? Okay. Jesus, or the man that you would call Jesus, was born the physical month and day that Jesus was born was April 2nd, not December 25th. Okay. And to be honest with you, I can't tell you if that's BC or AD or anything, because we actually base our calendar based on the time that Christ was born. That's why we have before Christ and after death. So Jesus was born on April 2nd of year 0, if you want to put it in that context. So that's what I can tell you there, sweetie. One moment, I'm not getting any comments through. I'm just going to reset the... There we go. I hope that helps and I can get more comments through. Okay. Now, also, let's have a look here. And you say, when exactly was Jesus born, and is his spirit with us now? Yes, very much so. Okay. I hope that answers your question, sweetheart. Megan, Megan Buck asks, I feel I have so much to ask, but not knowing where to start or what questions to ask. Is this normal? The more I sit back and think, the questions are starting to appear to me, strange ones. But is there a reason I get car sickness so bad, travel sickness? Is the path I'm currently on one suited for me at the moment? I fear death. A huge amount keeps me up at night, and I find myself crying and getting into such a state it can affect my day-to-day life. This is on and off over the years. Sorry for so many questions. I asked a few to see if you can answer at least one, as I may not have worded a question right, if that makes sense. Oh, sweetheart, bless you so much. Thank you for asking your questions. I am going to do my very, very best to answer these as best as you can. Now, personal questions, I am going to decline those ones. However, the other ones that we can have the group benefit from, I will for sure answer. So, Megan, as you are a new member, this is of course helpful for, I hope, more new members also. You feel like you have a lot of questions to ask, but you don't know where to ask. Oh my goodness, yes. When you start the process of raising your frequency, you are now starting to literally process information that much faster. And it is a gradual increase where it's just kind of like, oh, awakening, oh, I'm processing more, and then whoosh, until you can process a lot of information in a short space of time. So of course, though, when you can process more information, where do you get the information? Well, you ask questions. So it is very, 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 very normal to go through this process and then have this flood and this need and this yearn for more knowledge, right? To gain more and just to discover more. So that's what we get on. There's a specific frequency, and I call it the seeking frequency, right? Where you hit it, and then all you can do is think of acquiring more knowledge, because it is absolutely amazing. Because again, you need it to use your wisdom. So strange questions, as you say, but there is no such thing as a strange question, my dear. Absolutely no such thing as a strange question. You can turn around and ask me if pink unicorns that poop out rainbow ice cream and, you know, wear a Batman cape, are they real? And I would still say that's not a stupid question, because there's always a reason behind things. Okay. Is there a reason I get car sickness so bad, or travel sickness? Can't answer that one just because it is a personal question. If you're on the right, is the path I'm currently on one suited for me at the moment? Now, this is a personal question. However, I'm going to answer it in a general way. I will tell you this. Is it not strange how you found me? How it was? You know, I had never seen your name before. Never seen your name before. Your mom and your sister did not really speak of you as often, you know, respecting your privacy, no doubt, I'm sure. So they did not speak of your business to me or anything like that, because they're beautiful people, and why would they want to? So I had no clue, without me kind of like really investigating and looking in to anything there. But yet, you oddly, strangely come up within the people that I'm trying to add. And I add you, and you message me, and all of a sudden we are interacting. You know, right at this time when you are seeking, right at this time when things are going up and down all the way, here, there, and everywhere. And yet now is the time you find me. And not only that, but now is the time you find other people who are here just for this purpose, right? To help you find balance, to help you find yourself, to help you heal. So, when you're asking if you are currently on the right path that is suited for you, now I'm not going to say yes or no to that, but I'm going to say this. You have found a group of people here. And we do nothing but love in this group. We want nothing but the best for you. So it seems that something in your path is aligning correctly, right? So I'm going to say that. Run with that. See how I'm slyly trying not to answer a personal question. All right. I fear death. A huge amount keeps me up at night, and I find myself crying and getting into such a state it can affect my day-to-day life. And I know this has been going on and off for years for you, but no doubt I am sure it is getting incredibly hard, especially during this time with the moon, with the ups and downs and the everything going, right? Fearing death in this moment is not uncommon. Fearing death is something a lot of people do. But I want you to understand that you are an immortal soul, my sweetheart. You literally are an immortal soul. You do not die. Your consciousness is always going to be there. The only thing that you shed is your vessel, right? That's the only thing that you shed. The reason why you fear death is because your conscious entity is the one that fears death. There's two reasons for this, right? They want you to, your entities want you to be in a state of fear so that they can feed off of you, for one. So they are going to trigger certain anxieties within you, right? Now, as you are on this path, they trigger the anxieties within you so that they can constantly feed off of you, knowing that you're perfectly safe and well, and that you're not actually going to die, but yet you are living in fear of dying. So again, you are giving your energy to them, and they are going to try to perpetuate this on a regular basis to keep you in a state of servitude to your fear, to constantly feed them. Now, the other reason why you are going to, especially in this time, with you waking up, with you finding this group, with you being so close to your mother, who is a very, very powerful empath and sentient individual, right? You know, you're awakening to your abilities. Now, the fear of death may amplify even more for you because your conscious entity that has been controlling you with your subconscious entity are now going to start to lose a lot of power over you, over your mind. And you will start to feel the fear of their death, not your own. You will feel their death, the feeling of fear within them, not within you. Because I want you to understand and know that you are right here. There is the deepest part of your core, your heart, your light. That is you. Your light has been covered with this veil of insecurity, this veil of unhappiness, this veil of sadness has been put over your heart by your mind and the entities that are trying to rule you in this moment. So this is for anybody else that is fearing death at the moment as well, right? You are always going to be there. All you have to do is now lift this veil, lift these veils of insecurity, fear, to understand, because you in your heart, the universal truth, which is known, and when you discover that universal truth, when you discover yourself, you will know that you are immortal. So death has no meaning whatsoever. There is nothing to fear. You have died countless times already within this life. And all you've done is you've hit the reset button and you've come back into it. Right? You've come back into it. When you, I'll just give you a little bit of, to help you with this as well. And it definitely helped me when I was going through my shedding of the fear and understanding that it was my ego or my consciousness's fear, not my own. Right? What does it feel like to die? Right? And it's hard because you're like, Kulipup, how could you ever tell me what it feels like to die? Clearly you're living here. Well, I know what it feels like to die because I'm Kulipup. My avatar, this body, Ness, has had no clue what it felt like to die. Because it was my consciousness. The consciousness of Ness at that point, but I killed off that consciousness time ago, right? It no longer exists. It did die, right? So now I no longer have that fear because it wasn't my fear in the first place. But anyway, so what does it actually feel like? Well, about 30 seconds prior to the time that you take your last breath, before your heart actually stops its true beating, your spirit leaves you, okay? What it feels like, it's like a pop. So, you know, if you heard that, I know some people will be like, ew, but it has a popping sensation. So what happens is 30 seconds before your body ceases to function, you lose consciousness. You slip back into, your eyes will close and it'll seem like darkness just because of your eyes closing, and you're going to just drift off into unconsciousness. Now, all of a sudden though, you're going to wake up to a pop, like just like that crack, like it's going to be like pop. Right? And then when that pop happens, you will then be out, your spirit, your soul contract, your DNA contract will then be null and void, so your spirit will then leave your body. Your heart, your energy will leave your body, your consciousness. You will have full function, absolute full function, okay? of yourself, of your knowledge of who you are, you will no longer be like, oh my gosh, I'm Megan. What happened? You'll be like, oh shit. What did I do as Megan? Oh, bugger all. I'm going to have to go look at my entire life. I'm going to go through reflection. Sorry, every time I giggle, this happens. But I'm stubborn because I keep smoking my spliff anyway. But anywho, you're not going to look at yourself and just be like, oh my gosh. You're going to be like, oh, well, shit. Well, thank God I'm finished that now. Like, at least let me go home. And then you're going to be greeted by some members of your soul cluster who are still there, your teacher, your guidance. They're going to be like, so, how you doing today? That was a good life, right? Or was it? Let's reiterate this. 1 second. Sorry, excuse me. Right? So, this is what's going to happen. And then you do it again. Right? So the actual feeling of death, you don't feel it. You lose consciousness and then it's a pop. Now, don't get me wrong. If this was medieval days and you got, like, literally you got a spear through your gut or something like that, yeah, it's going to hurt like shit. It's going to hurt. So you are still going to experience that while your body is still functioning. But by the time you're ready to go, you lose consciousness, you hear a pop, and then you're out, and then you're like, let's reflect on this life. So I want to say don't worry about it, but I know it is something that you have to develop into and you have to feel because you have to evolve past it. You have to kill the ego, which is the conscious entity of fear that is plaguing you. You have to get rid of it, and then it comes back to you, sweetie. So I hope that helps. Okay, so I'm going to answer a question here. So we have Monique. Hi Ness, I'm having mixed emotions about my marriage. I was wondering if you could give me advice on what you see. Now, that is a personal question, sweetheart. That is a personal question. So I'm not going to answer any personal questions tonight. How can I how can I help you with this in a group setting though? And by the way, all means, if you want to ask this personal question, this is for anybody. If you want to ask a personal question for a reading specifically, then please do wait till tomorrow because I'm going to be going on to the Frequency 51 Psychic Readings group page, and I'm going to be doing some pendulum and truth of the heart and whatever kind of, you ask a question, I'll just get you the answer at that point, however way we're going to do it. So, but I can answer this in a group setting. Oh, sweetheart, you're saying I always do this and I'll never know when to catch you. Don't worry, sweetie. I always pop up at random times. And you just got to remember that I teach more than I do the readings at the end of the day. Because I hopefully would like to teach you how to do your own readings on your own self as well, right? But anyway, so don't worry about it, sweetie. But how can I help you with this? Well, a lot of mixed emotions are going to be happening over the next coming period, okay? 2019 is going to be a hard year. It's going to be fabulous if you are really, really putting the work in to develop and to live in love and light, because it will get easier as you go. However, you got to get rid of the negativity if you are going to have these moments of bliss. So if you're having mixed emotions about your marriage or a relationship in general, and this will be for everybody, there's a couple of steps that I want you to take, okay? And so Monique, go away, take these steps, go away, and then if you still have this question tomorrow, then come back and ask. But however, if you followed these steps and you're just like, no, you know what? I know what to do. I don't need to ask the question anymore. I'm good. Then hey, all the more power to you, sweetheart, and that's absolutely fantastic. So if you're contemplating your relationship at the moment and you don't know whether if it's something worth saving or if it's something that you should say, you know what? I'm out. I can't take this anymore. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to assess yourself, okay? First thing we always have to do is self-assessment, because what we tend to do as people is we tend to project our heart's needs and desires onto other people and giving the other people the responsibility of fulfilling those needs, when that's not the case. So firstly, step number one, I want you to assess yourself. Now, if your relationship is not working out, I want you to be like, okay, well, why is it not working out? So, one, I don't feel like I'm getting enough love in this relationship. Well, what kind of love? You know, is it physical love? Is it mental love? Is it the kind of love where, oh, he'll shower me with kisses all day long, but he never listens to me when I'm trying to have a conversation, right? It feels too physical rather than emotional. Yes, sweet me. Yes, sweet pea. This cat, I swear. Anyway, so is it more physical versus emotional? So you need to understand what that is. Next, once you have established like what part of this love, what part of this is what I need or what I'm missing, then I want you to see, what do you do for yourself when it comes to that. So for example, if you're just like, my partner, you know, I'm assuming he's a he at this moment because I'm not looking into anything, but my partner, he thinks I'm missing the sensuality within our relationship, right? He's a great provider, he's a really lovely guy, but I feel like a friend rather than a wife, right? So let's say that's what it was. Now, I would then be like, okay, well, if that's the case and you're missing sensuality, what are you doing for yourself to encourage sensuality within you, right? And so you've got to look at it. It's like, am I a very sensual person in the beginning? And he's just simply not responding to it. Now, if that's the case, if you're already very sensual and he's not responding to it, then you're going to want to look at, well, what is he doing? What are the circumstances with him? You know what, actually, Monique, I have a video which is how to speak to your partner when you're going through a tough time. All right, and I actually put in a few steps on there. So I'm going to include the link to that video, okay, in the discussion box. Sorry, in the discussion area. I think if you have a listen to that, I go into a lot more detail, and you can really help you to understand your emotions or the problems that are going on within your marriage at the moment, and then address them, and how to communicate with your partner. Now, if you've done all that, you've communicated, and he's still not responding to you, that's when you have to make the decision. Well, you can be like, well, maybe it is time for me to move on. Or you may be like, you know what, I'm happy to stay because I still need to, I want to help him through this, and I want to help myself through this too. So, you know, just see what it is that makes you feel best on there. I went through that. I totally spoke a long time on that one. Sorry, you guys, but I hope that helps. Gypsy, you say, is this an open Q&A? Yes, it is, my dear. You can ask me any question as long as it is not a personal question. These questions are going to be for that everybody can learn from them. So yes, please ask away. Regina, my sweetheart, you are saying to me now, my question is, if you find you can just seek outside yourself anytime you think about it, but I came back like ice and couldn't get warm, what is it I'm doing wrong? I ground and I wrapped for protection. Okay, so I'm going to try to deduce that, the understanding there, but you may have to clarify a few things for me there, Regina. So you say, my question is, if you find you can just seek outside of yourself anytime, do you mean in terms of that vision-wise, like astral projection, you can go outside of yourself? Or are you talking about actually seeking information? So be a little bit, clarify that for a little bit for me. Because you say, because I came back like ice and couldn't get warm, what is it I'm doing wrong? I ground and I wrap for protection. Now here's the thing. If you are losing body temperature and you're losing heat, that could be a number of different things. Now, for example, when I'm raising frequency and I'm going through a transition, I have a hard time controlling my temperature for a while. Sometimes I will go days where I am just boiling and I just need to keep the windows open. And then other times I'm freezing and I can't get warm. And it's because my body temperature is used to being high and the room is just now so cold. Although everybody around me is perfectly fine. So it can be a number of different kind of things. So I would like a little bit more context behind that, please, if you don't mind, sweetheart. Okay, Amishtal, you say, what's the purpose of death if it has no meaning? Even dissolved, you may not consciously exist, but still exist anyway. Yes, okay. So what the purpose of death is in this material world is it is physically there to give you a time limit, right? Because you got to think, when you are an immortal God and you are aware that you are an immortal God, and if there wasn't a time limit on the bodies that we have, without us learning our lessons, it means that we do not progress. All right? It means that we are not learning the lessons we need to do, because we can simply avoid them all the time. Just like all day long, we can avoid them. We can live in fear. We can live in patterns. And so there's not a progression or any sort of deterioration or consequence, shall I say, for us to change our actions. So it is imperative that we do that we have this time limit on there, so that we can learn. Now, here's the beautiful thing, though, right? When you achieve the knowledge of who you are, okay, Kat, you're going to need to go down now because my hand is hurting. When you achieve the knowledge of who you are, when you achieve a physical level, frequency level of 11 plus, and when you understand that you are actually a God living in this vessel, you can then take care of your vessel with this divine knowledge that you have to literally rejuvenate yourselves and gain immortality within this plane of existence. And that is what I have done, and that is what I'm coaching hopefully more people to do so. Because again, when you understand your frequency and you understand your energy, it is constantly renewed. So the time limit that you have, Amishtal, is extended to whatever you want it to be. However, you only get this if you come into the knowledge of what it is you need to do in order to gain this cellular rejuvenation, right? And you have to maintain it, right? But a lot of people don't come into that knowledge. Because they don't come into that knowledge and because their frequency remains low, it means they have a time limit. So that they don't stay on board and repeat the same mistakes over and over and over and over and over again, right? It's like only when you've learned your lessons can you gain this immortality within this life. And that's why I tell people, like, I'm set to be around here for the next 220 some odd years, right? And I will look the same the entire freaking time. I will no doubt be a hell of a lot more toned because I'm going to remember my kung fu and we're going to do all of that and be much, much more toned. But genuinely, I'm going to be basically looking the same for the next how many hundreds of years, right? So we all just need to learn to do that. So that is the purpose of it anyway, of having a time limit. Now, the purpose of being dissolved consciously as you are a source fractal, a lot of source fractals don't do that. They just don't. However, they can do that if they want to. And everybody's got their different reasons for wanting to do that or so forth, but I will leave that down to the individual when it comes to source. But that is you making that decision within your higher evolved self and knowing what's happening, right? But purpose of death here is just a time scale. Okay. So let's have a look here. Oh, Susan, you're very welcome. Oh, Monique, I know how to give readings, but not my own. Haha! Monique, sweetheart, I will give you this piece of advice, and this is for anybody who doesn't know how to give them, who gives readings to other people, but don't know how to give readings to themselves. Trust yourself. All you've got to do is that. When you are giving readings for another individual, you tend to clear your mind more and focus on the information coming through, and you just give that information out, right? And that's where you're just like, oh yeah, you'll get good feedback, like, I hit the nail on the head, that was fantastic, this is great, right? However, when it comes to our own readings, we are normally so deeply involved that our entities have so much manipulation and control because we are so invested in the outcome that we tend not to trust ourselves, so that leads us off into paths of false information. So the key is just trust. Trust and making decisions and not being indecisive on those decisions. So if you want to give your own reading, now if you don't trust yourself, that is what you need to work on. All right, that is the first and foremost, the thing that you need to work on. And you know that you will have full trust in yourself when you stop asking yourself questions. When you stop second guessing what it is that you are doing every day on a daily basis, right? When you stop asking, should I? and replace that will with I will, or I'm going to, or so forth. Solid decisions, right? But no more should I's. So when you get over the should I's, that's when you should find that your readings get very, very accurate, especially as they pertain to yourself. So I hope that hurt. I hope that hits. Right. Gypsy Ali, you say, are you familiar with seeing auras? This is a new gift that Spirit has opened. Yes, I am familiar with seeing auras. I will be very, very honest with you. I see auras when I focus on seeing auras. Otherwise, I don't see them because I don't need to. Because I prefer to read your energy and read your heart versus reading the color of your aura and your light at the time. But for yourself, if you are constantly seeing auras, if you're constantly seeing colors around people, colors around shapes, just remember that every single thing has an aura. My lip gloss has an aura, my glasses has an aura, I have an aura, the lamp, Shayla has an aura, everything has an aura. Each color is going to resonate with a different frequency, okay? So what I'm going to do, or Gypsy, what I'm going to suggest that you do is every time because if you're a very good visionary, and your third eye is very good with vision or clairvoyancy, you're going to see a lot more colors and shapes and geometry and everything like that. Pay attention to how you feel when you see an individual's aura. And try to log that in terms of the color. So if you are looking at an individual and their aura is blue, a nice blue, maybe it's a light blue, maybe it's a dark blue, right? I want you to notice their aura, then I want you to just be aware of how you feel and how the kind of impression you're gaining from that individual. All right? Do that or thing, person, place, or thing, whatever it is you're seeing the aura in. And I want you, so again, you're assessing how you feel when you are seeing this and how they make you feel, or what the impression you're gaining of this person, place, or thing. Right? Log it, because what you are going to then be able to do is find the pattern in each color and feeling that you see, thus helping you read the language of color through love, through light, right? It's really, really, really cool, right? When we learn a language that is not based off of speech, right? It's funny because, the new movie, A Wrinkle, is it A Wrinkle in Time, the one with the little girl and the frequencies and so forth, her dad gets lost. It's like when there's a part in that movie where the flowers are speaking to the little girl, trying to tell her where her dad is, and she didn't understand. She's just like, what's happening? And they were speaking in color, right? But that's what you can do. You can literally, when it comes to auras, you can literally notice the color, notice how you feel, associate the feeling, and communicate, right? It's a beautiful experience, so please develop it as much as you can. Regina, healing, I can touch people. Of course. Hi, Virgin Sweetie. Regina, it's like I'm in shadow form from there with them. I can touch, feel them to heal, give my energy, light, and help. Ah, okay, wonderful. So yes, so if you seem like you are astral projecting there. Now, however, if you are in a shadow form, if when you are projecting and you are looking down at yourself and you are in a shadowy kind of form, you are infested or you are being manipulated at that time with an entity or darkness, okay? So although you can still wield, you can still go out and heal people. Just be very, very aware of that, because when you astral project, especially if you are aware of the color of your light, you normally show up in the color of your light. Okay, so for example, when my light was still golden, and with my hues of purple and green and gold, when I astral projected within just my pure energy, which I was gold. But as I progressed, I got hotter, I vibrated a lot higher, so I went from gold and it turned to white. So now, when I astral project, I'm in a completely not crystal clear, but like a very, very bright white. Right? So if I see any sort of shadows on my limbs, anywhere within me, perhaps I step outside of myself and I look at myself. If I see anything that has darkness in it, I know that there's some sort of infiltration there. Again, doesn't stop my healing ability, but it can definitely drain your energy. So I'm not surprised that if you are within this shadowy kind of form, you go out there, you're projecting to somebody, you're healing them, and you come back cold, and it's because you've been drained of your energy. Because not only are you going out healing somebody, but because you are infested, you are being drained at the same time. So you come back in, and you now need to regain your energy, so you're probably a little chilly, right? So to stop this, you need to go to the source and stop the infestation first, okay? You need to cleanse yourself. Now, grounding is great. Grounding gives you energy, but you need to cleanse your heart, and you do that through inner work. I will say it a million times over. You do it through inner work, right? You just got to keep on going at it. And you do inner work continually until the majority of it is gone, or until you need to do it again. This is a regular part of maintenance. It's the same kind of thing where you have to take your car in every few months for an oil change. Same thing with inner work. It is part of regular maintenance that happens with your mind. So the sooner you can get used to doing it, the faster we can get rid of all of this pestilence and infiltration through for entities and everything. And the faster you can astral project and heal people all over the world, my sweetheart. Which you're going to be fabulous doing. Definitely. Okay, so Gypsy, you say, now with this, I have to focus as well. Seeing them, I see them in light streams. Excellent. Mixing in energy readings with the color show. Yeah, exactly. And it is all about focus. But just remember, Gypsy, the more you are focusing on these auras, the stronger it's going to get. And the more ringing in the ears that you are going to get as well. Every time you have this, embrace the ringing, focus even more. Right? Practice as well. What you can also do when it comes to auras, I know, sorry, Regina, I just kind of switched there. But, for example, I want you to try to look at the aura of my lip gloss here, right? And when you can see the aura of my lip gloss, look at your own aura. And I want you to try to push your aura onto the object, okay? So change that aura from whatever it is to something else. Now, I'll hold up my pendulum here. So let's see here. So if you are looking at my, well, you probably can't see that very well. For anybody who's looking, the aura of my pendulum is it is a mixture of purple, yellow, sorry, purple, white, and green. Normally. So you'll have that kind of mixture of purple, white, and green going through. And I know that's my aura. However, if something else was controlling my pendulum, depending on what it's from, the aura of my pendulum could change, right? So, for example, when I was starting out with this, my aura was, when I was just waking up, my aura was a deep bluish, deep blue. Like when I was in the base of just waking up, I was still, you know, like, hi, I'm Ness, you know, that kind of thing. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know my name or anything. My aura was blue. So when I picked up my pendulum, when I was practicing it, blue would envelop my pendulum, all right? However, when I became aware of my entities, and when I made the spell to say, no entities, only my higher self, my source truth can answer on this pendulum, my pendulum immediately changed to purple, the aura. It was a solid, beautiful purple. And that's when I knew, I'm like, I would look at my hand, and my hand was blue, but my pendulum was purple. And I had to get into the mix of, okay, focus. When it is me, and as I was progressing, I would always know that, when I can envelop my aura, my truth around my pendulum, I know that it is my truth, now that I am progressed, right? But at the time, I could tell who or what was trying to speak to me based on the aura color of my pendulum. So it was really cool. So again, you can learn so much. Okay, wonderful. Let's have a look here. Greg, your live videos always advance me so much. It's like you conform my experiences and gifts before I'm even conscious of them having names. Yes, well that's what I'm here for, Greg. Thank you ever so much, sweetie. I'm glad you enjoy the videos and I'm glad you learn from it, because I know with each moment that you progress, with each moment you get that ringing in the ears, oh my goodness, to see you speak as well, to see the change in your speech pattern. And I know you see it too. From the time when you may have been posting years ago to the kind of thoughts and posts you make now, especially in the last few months, I can see the difference. Not only can I see the difference in your speech, but I can see and feel the difference in the words as you are projecting them at the same time. And I think it's absolutely beautiful. So please keep progressing, my sweetheart. Keep progressing. Okay. Angie, sweetie, you say, sorry, just joined. Have you got to my question about my vision yet? No, I have not gotten to your question about your vision yet. I am totally working this down, though. Let me actually have a look. Oh, actually, yes, Angie, your, that one was actually answered yesterday. So if you go look for the live yesterday, because that was on the, it's going to be close to the beginning of the live, because that was only like the 4th question down that I had. So please, if you want to rewatch some of the live yesterday, your question will be answered on that one, sweetheart. Okay. Regina, you're very welcome, my sweetheart. I love you to pieces, honey. I absolutely love you to pieces. Greg, I think I'm controlling your pendulum law. That's weird. You want to try? Now you have to think, is it you controlling my pendulum, or is it my pendulum controlling yours? So for example, if anybody wants to have a go here, if you want to get your pendulum going, I want you to just say, Kulipup, I want to challenge you to a very brief pendulum battle. Why not? Let's have some fun, right? Let's have a little bit of fun. Okay, so hold your pendulum up, and if you say, Kulipup, I want to challenge you to this pendulum battle, then I'm going to place my hand, or my energy is going to activate around you, okay? Now, if you can sway my pendulum from the direction that I will make it move, because, of course, I'll show you the control that I have. Okay, so we're going to go back and forth. All right, we are going to go in an anti-clockwise circular motion. Okay, we are going to, we're going to go to a no, which is back and forward, shaking head. And we're going to go back to, let's say I'm speaking from my heart, so we're going to go in a northeast direction in a minute as we go forward. So northeast direction. Okay, so that's the kind of control that I've got going there. Now what I want you to do is we are going to connect to each other, and let's have a battle of the wills here. So if your pendulum stops moving, it means that our wills are colliding there. All right. So I'm going to keep the pendulum rotating in an anti-clockwise way. All right. So we're going to go anti-clockwise here. Now what I want you to do is I want you to try to get my pendulum to go back and forth in a yes motion. All right. Now that is where you are going to see if you are able to control my pendulum or not. Or will my pendulum control your pendulum? Alrighty. Just let me know what's going on. We'll do this just for a second. How about this? I'll keep holding this up. I'm going to keep holding this up, and we're going to see who can make my pendulum go back and forth with my will. Of course, keeping it in an anti-clockwise direction. This is funny. Okay, so let me go through, and I'm going to try to keep my thoughts on this too. Let's go through another question here. Okay. Let's going down. We went through those ones. We got that one. Regina, you did actually have a question here, which you said, what can I do to bring my gifts all the way in? I feel like I'm stuck. Thank you. Inner work, sweetheart. Inner work, focus. I'll hold this up just in case we're trying to read over the comments there. Inner work, focus, and just understanding of yourself. Right now, to get your gifts to really start working all the way, you literally need to sit with yourself. Okay? You need to sit with yourself all over the place. So let's have a look here. I told it to touch your wrist and it started to swing towards it. Okay, good stuff. Mine is staying at yes. Okay, excellent. Does anybody want to keep going there? All right, let's switch this. Let's be. I'm going to remain. Okay, stop this. All right. We're going to remain in a yes position, okay? So this is a yes position. All right. So now that my pendulum is in a yes position, I want you to use your will to make it go to say a no. Virgin, mine kept going like yours. Yep, there we go. That's wonderful. So I want you to try to make my pendulum go into to say no, as if you're saying no, Kulipup. I am going to make your pendulum go where I want it to go. It seems I was only able to do it because you weren't focused on it, lol. My pendulum literally does tricks. I just do it for fun sometimes. You do that, though. You do that. It's wonderful. Yeah, no, as I started to read things, I'm like, oh, no, let's focus back on this then. But no worries. This is really fun, and I hope that we can do some more pendulum lessons and pendulum battles and everything like that. So that would be wonderful. That'd be funny. You made yours say yes. Yes, but you're trying to make mine say no. So that is the battle of the consciousness, by the way. When you want to challenge me for my crown, and you want to take over me as supreme consciousness, you will need to make this pendulum do something that I don't want it to do. All right? So, good luck. Good luck with that. Yeah, anyway. Oh, no, loco, I don't even want to try to affect yours. Don't worry, you can. You totally can. I'm inviting you to do so. But, it probably won't. Mine said no, but not yours. Exactly, right? Because, again, it won't. Mine won't move. Oh, trust me, I have tried to give my consciousness. Because I got so fed up with the entities, right? Always trying to attack me. So I'm like, you know what? Frickin' do it. Do it then. Do it. Take over my consciousness. And they did, and they couldn't hold it for 5 minutes. And then I realized, I'm like, oh shit, nobody can like, my consciousness can't be taken over even if I give it to him. It's like it's locked in place. But anyway, it's funny. So, let's have a look at some of these here. Kevin P. Brown says, how can I find my name or frequency? And can you tag us in the live posts? Oh, yes. Okay, so how can you find your name or frequency? For one, I'm going to say this, and this is for, of course, new individuals and people who are still asking for their frequency, name or frequency in itself. How you find it is, for one, you have to keep your body clean. You have to be in at least a level 5, but being in level 6 really does help. Now, once you are in that, once you've kept your body clean, you know, you've stopped eating meat, you've stopped trying to reduce as much processed food and keep your body clean and so forth, get your pineal gland active. At that point, you have to practice. You have to focus. You have to want to do it. You know, when it came to checking and finding my own frequency, I would constantly, literally, I would have my pendulum and I would ask constantly every day, right? And trust me, there was plenty of times I didn't trust the answers coming through, but I would take the overall. So at times I would get, okay, you're in 5.5, you're in 5.7, you're in 6.1, but then you went down to 5.7. So I'd be like, you know what? I am between 5.7 to 6.1 right now. That's what I'm going to go for, right? And I chose to just be like, I'm going to trust this and I'm going to go forward from it, right? And when I did that, when I started to coach and train myself to trust the information that was coming through and stop questioning it so much, I found that my accuracy increased. So where it wouldn't fluctuate so wildly, right? Because again, I'm practicing this every single day. Not only that, I would hear I took all the information from everywhere, right? I'd hear the ringing in my ears and I'd understand my DNA was being upgraded. I would ask questions about everything, not just about my frequency. I would ask, am I putting too much salt in my cooking? You know, do aliens exist? Is the government really wrong? You know, I would ask about people, I would ask about places, I'd ask about every freaking thing. And the more I asked, the more my accuracy increased, so that when I went back to asking about my frequency, bang, it was right there. The numbers came through so easily, right? But it was because I was relentlessly practicing. And whenever I got to a point where I was blocked or I was having frustration, I stopped focusing on my frequency, or maybe I'd just check it once in that day, myself. And I'd stop focusing too much on it, and then I'd focus on of calming my mind and of going through the process of grounding and doing all of the other work that goes in there. So that's literally what I did. Now, how you find your frequency name as well is, if you don't want to follow the video that I actually have on YouTube, or if you're finding that difficult, literally, it just means that you need to be more focused. It means that you're not ready for your name just yet, right? You got to think, it is a very difficult process to actually find out who you truly are, because it involves so much work with you looking inside. And when we are sick, when we have negativity inside us, we tend by nature to run away from it. We tend not to want to face it at all, right? So we are in this pattern of, it makes me feel bad, so I'm going to run, right? And that's why so many people don't like inner work. It's confusing, it's hard, it doesn't feel good, and it's easier to ignore it and push it to the side. But we can't do that. Our time of running is over, it is complete. So when you stop running from yourself, and when you can clear out the fear and negativity that is within you, then you will be still enough, you will be silent enough, you will be clear enough to hear your vibration, to feel your name, right? Because the sounds come to you, right? Whether it's the sounds that are coming to you, whether it is the name that is given to you, whether in dreams, through discovery, through search. For me, it was, I had to use my pendulum, but it got to the point where the more I delved into this, the words just came through my cognizance, right? And I didn't have to do very much. So if you can't find your name, it just means you're not ready. You got to go back to the basics, and you got to do more, right? You just got to do more of that inner work. Now, can I tag you in live posts? To be honest with you, no. I can't tag you in live posts, only because I am far too lazy to tag people. I tried doing that one time, but when the list got over like 20 people, and I'm like, I'm sitting here tagging so many people, I couldn't be bothered to do it. So, if you would like to definitely know when I'm going live, be sure to go on the group. I believe if you are, I'm just doing this now, and remember, Facebook is not my forte. So, if you are on the group and you click on the, is it the join part? Oh, yes, yes. So if you are clicking on the join part, if you have it as joined, and then you have the little tick for notifications as in yes, you should get my notifications when I'm live. Besides that, you can click on my direct profile link, so just click on my name and click on follow me there. And normally you should get a notification then at that point when I do go live, or when I'm posting. Anything else with Facebook, I don't know, because I cannot be bothered to learn it. So hopefully we'll have a lot of people who are willing to explore that with us. So anywho's, I hope that helps. We were down at, yes, so that's on there. I have one more question that was submitted, and I'm going to answer that one, and then I'm going to answer all of the questions on here, but I definitely wanted to get through all of these ones. So we have one from Lucas, actually, which is a fantastic question, because I always love Lucas' questions. She always promotes that conversation. I hear a lot talking about how many spirit guides they have. Do some only have one? Yes. So that was a wonderful question from Luke Houston for anybody who's listening. You can have multiple spirit guides, okay? But you have only one higher consciousness spirit in itself, which is yourself, which is your heart and your being and your vibration. Now, however, you can have many different guides. Now, they're not always permanent guides. Sometimes they pop in only when they are due to check in on you, or if you are summoning them through your energy. And then you have other guides who literally stick around you all the time, right? So, for example, as I was going through my awakening journey, Master Luke Houston, Master Lupe, because not only are they part of my team members, but they're literally part of my soul cluster group. They're my brothers, right? They're my loves. I love them to pieces. They're my family. So their spirits have been with me since I was a child, and they've always been with me, although I wasn't aware of them. And I was with myself as I was with them. That's right. My spirit was with them since they have been children and growing up and so on in their avatars. So I have always had them beside me, but unbeknownst to myself. Now, as I awoke more into who I was, I had a hell of a lot of people come around me. And it was primarily because they were all part of my family, and because of the consciousness that I am, and because they knew who I was too, I had a lot of assistance going through, because my energy commanded it at the end of the day. So I had multiple spirit guides. But I was only, of course, myself. I was my own primary guide with just the wonderful assistance of my friends around me. Now, some people, though, if they are incarnating here and they really like want a nice solitary lesson, then they'll probably just be with themselves, right? Because that's what they need. But there are definitely other people who are like me, who incarnate and have a bunch of people around them, who nip in and who don't, and so on. Right? So, yeah, you can have multiple guides. Yeah. So I hope that helps. Right. Excellent. Let's get on to some of these questions. Okay. So let's have. So yeah, we were doing the pendulums there. That was fun. So Virgin, I found mine. You checked it out. It fiends so something like that, and my frequency, I believe, is 7.4. Virgin, I'm not confirming that tonight, or anything like that. But if that's what it feels like, well, give it a go. At this point in time, I will be very, very honest with you. At this point in time, I would prefer so many more people to stop focusing too much on the actual frequency number and start more so focusing on how they feel, how their energy feels in that day. Are you doing things that you enjoy, right? Because your frequency is going to go up regardless. The number that your frequency level on doesn't dictate to you whether you are going to have a good day or not. The choices that you make in your own head will dictate, and the actions you make will dictate what kind of day you have. So if you simply wake up every day and you're just like, you know what, I choose to live in love today. I choose to do whatever it is that my body wants me to do. I choose to eat the foods that react well with my body, and I choose just happiness, right? Then don't worry, your frequency is going to increase, right? It doesn't matter what the number is, as long as you feel good, that is what the main focus should be, right? However, if you wake up and your mind is cloudy, you have headaches, you're just like, I can't do this, I don't know what to do about it. Don't worry about your frequency. Immediately go sit down, meditate, find yourself, find your center again. And then worry about it. Or don't worry about it, doesn't matter. Just as long as you have shifted your focus and your energy from the negative to the positive, that should be the only thing that matters. And I know frequency numbers help you really gauge where you're at, especially in the lower levels. But right now, it's crunch time. It's not about the leisurely, oh, have I gone up a point or down a point? No, your focus should be on, I'm riding this bloody rapid, these white water rapids of energy right now, and I need to have my wits about me, and I need to focus on being happy, because being happy is the only way you're going to steer this boat right now, right? knowing your frequency number is great, but if you're not doing anything with the information, if it takes your focus off of your flow, then it's not useful to you. All right? Your flow, your energy, your happiness, that's what should be guiding you. Okay. Elena, hello, sweetheart. You ask, what does your diet consist of? I don't need a lot of food. My diet can fluctuate depending on the cycle, depending on what it is that's needed. Right now, I eat for more nourishment rather than nutrient. I manifest a lot of the nutrients that my body requires because I am so very high energy. So what I need, I kind of manifest it. So right now, I drink copious amounts of water. I have about a cup of tea and a cup of coffee a day. Couple bits of toast and butter. I like fruits. I eat like a handful of grapes or a bowl of grapes. Maybe some soup every now and then, but it's a small bowl. I don't eat a lot. I can't take a lot of food, just because I don't react well to a lot of food. I don't eat a lot of nutrient-dense foods or mineral-dense foods because the metals in there mess with my frequency and my vibration. The only times that I do tend to eat more food are during times of increased energy. So for example, the full moon, for about a month prior to, like after the December full moon, for those few weeks, I ate lots. I was eating lots of fruit. I was eating more heavy nutrients. I craved more like lettuces and so forth like that. But as soon as the new moon was over, I was like, nope, I'm done shedding it now, and now I'm filtering through all the excess nutrients. So my diet is very, very minimal, but I have no meat. I don't have any meat, and I reduce as much chemical as I put into my body as possible. So yeah, I still have chocolate, I still have cookies. I ain't giving that shit away. I don't care. I don't care what it is. I'm gonna eat it. But I just watch heavily what it is I put in my body, and I make everything that I eat pretty much, unless it's Lindor chocolate or cookies. Wow, I rambled on a lot on that one, and I feel like I didn't even give you any information. So what I do, don't worry about it. Focus on you right now. That's all I can say. Just cut out the meat. Virgin, I saw my angel. He is light-skinned, long black hair, very muscular. Can you check if I am wrong? I'm maybe dreaming Virgin, I want you to... I know who you were seeing, but I want you to give me a little bit more description. Tell me a little bit more about what he was wearing. When you say he was light in terms of skin hue, what kind of light do you mean? Do you mean melanated and light, or do you mean Caucasian and light, or fair-skinned in that kind of way? I know who it is, but I want you to give me a little bit more, because I always love seeing like how these individuals look to other individuals, like how they come to them. So please let me know. Greg, you were saying that's why it's called Jacob's Ladder. At every chakra is a different dragon, aka a different aspect of yourself. Eventually you'll know these things when you should. Just knowing does not good if you're not a high enough frequency to utilize the information. Absolutely bloody right. Like we were saying there, Greg, like you really, really, really do need to utilize the information that you get. Because if you don't, you're absolutely right, then what happens? Nothing. And that's what's happening within the world right now. People have so much information, but they sit on it. And then they don't progress, or they don't use it. And so we don't progress, right? That's what information is for, is to be used, to help you make decisions. Greg, is it possible to channel yourself from past lifetimes? No, well, it is, but it is different. Because you're not channeling the ego. But for example, you can ask Shaolin, all about it. Because what he'll do is he'll just simply take himself back into that life and tell you all about it, whatever it is that you want to know, right? So it's kind of like when you are channeling, you're not really channeling, you're remembering, right? Yeah, that's the best way I can explain it. Because you can't channel your old ego, because that ego would have died, right? Your subconscious will travel with you, but your ego would have died. Or the conscious ego that would have kept you believing that you are that person in that time, right? So I hope that helps. Brandy, I posted a question about sleep paralysis above. Not sure if you can see it, but just wondering if I could get your thoughts. Oh, I missed that. I'm sorry, sweetie. I didn't see it. Oh, wait. Here we go. Yeah. Sorry, I missed that. Let me read that out. So I haven't had sleep paralysis for a long time, but last week I had it twice, the same night. In my dream, the blankets were ripped off of me and I felt evil, but it said in my head, Kulipup, please help me. It stopped. I woke up. I was scared to go back to sleep. I finally fell back asleep and it immediately started again. They were waiting for me. Why is this happening? If you can, please and thank you. Yes, that is a fantastic question, Brandy, and I think it's going to help a lot of other people. But just before I do that, Virgin, you say, like your skin color, he had wings, beautiful, and he was tall. Yes, you were actually seeing Amishtal. Amishtal was there with you, Virgin, and he is helping you to discover new things that will help you on your evolution. Oh, Amishtal also says, oh, Kulipup, she's a star. So he's enjoying his time with you. But yes, Amishtal is very, very tall. He's got a very, very long dark braid that hangs around to about his knees. He's got beautiful wings. He is very, very muscular and he's absolutely stunning. So it's always very nice when you can actually see these guys in person. I've said it once, I'll say it again, and it is fabulous. Okay, so Brandy, let's get back to your question in regards to sleep paralysis. Now, firstly, what you have to appreciate is that when you are going through sleep paralysis in this time, it is because you are an individual that can do astral projection. Now, when you are sleeping and sleep paralysis comes about, it is because your ethereal body is ready to leave, but yet you do not know how to get up. Right? So firstly, a trick with this, I'm very, very happy that you called out my name because yes, your entities will, of course, attack you within your sleep. Now, you called out my name, they stopped because I'd be like, you know, you say my name and I'm like, I'll be looking at them like, do it, you know, that kind of thing, like, I dare you. Anyway, so I'm glad you did that, and I'm glad your spirit did call out to me in that time to help you a little bit. However, when you woke up and you're going back to sleep, your body is hitting that REM sleep cycle again, ready to astral project. So when you get into this, it is going to take you a little bit of training to kind of get in and out of it. And this is for anybody else who is going through sleep paralysis or astral projection when they don't really know that it is happening. So the process of getting your body, your consciousness to come out is very, very simple. Close your eyes, right? So I want you to close your eyes and I want you to literally just imagine the room around you as it is. So I would imagine this room here. So I'm going to close my eyes and I'm assuming I'm asleep and I'm relaxed and everything like that. And all I'm going to do is in my mind's eye, I'm just going to simply get up out of my chair. So I'm looking down at my body right now. Within my mind's eye, I can see my legs. I can see what I'm wearing. I can see everything like that. I can see how these are going in circles and slightly hitting each other and everything like that. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to simply imagine myself getting up out of this chair. All right? That's all that you're doing. So if you can control your mind enough to simply remember that okay, I'm in sleep paralysis. Now you're awake. Because you know what, when you're in sleep paralysis, right, you wake up, you can see things. You think you're seeing with your eyes, your actual eyes, but you're seeing with your mind's eye. But you're seeing everything as it is, though, right? So you're seeing it with your mind's eye, but it's so real because it is your consciousness at the end of the day. The consciousness you are using to see out of these two eyes is the same consciousness you are using to see out of this eye. So everything is going to look absolutely the same. So what you need to do is you just need to go back and envision yourself getting up, because then your consciousness will literally get up out of there. I know so many times you look at astral projection and people are like, the roll method, just roll out and this and just get up. And people physically try to get up with their bodies and it doesn't work. And it's like, cause nah, that's not, your body is staying asleep. Your mind is what needs to get up. Use your imagination. People don't think it's real, but it's like, no, you're really getting up. Your consciousness is literally leaving you at that point, leaving your vessel. Now, so how to stop this, though, is what I want you to do is to reverse the process. When your mind is trapped in this paralysis, I want you to remember and just be like, close your eyes at that point. You're in sleep paralysis, you're open, you're seeing, probably seeing the entity over there, feeling whatever's on your chest. Close your eyes. Close your eyes and then go back into your body and lay back down. That's all you got to do. Close your eyes and just kind of like get back in. And now imagine your actual body getting up, and you'll find that you'll get up. Okay? Now, this does, as I mentioned, take practice, because you have to be aware when you're in your sleeping state. Now, when you are in this state and your entities have a hold of you, as they did with you, Brandy, because what we have to remember is that your entities, it does not matter. Your focus is your focus. Whether you are sleeping in your focus or whether you are awake in your focus, it is the same thing. If you are thinking of negative thoughts, having negative dreams, nightmares, night terrors and everything, your entities feed off of that energy just the same way they would feed off of you if you were in the flesh and you know, having an argument with somebody. It's the exact same energy that they feed off of. So when you have a night terror or when you have sleep paralysis, your entity knows that you are trapped because you're now panicking, because you don't know how to get off. So what they're going to do is they're going to entice more fear into you to get as much of your energy as they possibly can. Now with yourself, Brandy, at that point you called out my name. Your spirit called out my name. So at that point I said, I vanquished. Sorry, I'm getting a question. Oh, you're very welcome, sweetheart. Sorry, your spirit is just saying thank you for that. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. So that was it. So my name was called out and I vanquished some stuff. However, as you went back in, your entities created again, right? They're created again through that fear, and that's what they wanted to do is grip you. So, Brandy, I'm going to ask you to practice your astral projection whilst you are in your waking moments. This will totally help you in terms of sleep paralysis, and hopefully get you, if you're choosing not to astral project while you're sleeping, at least so you can come back into your body, wake yourself up a little bit, and just be like, you know, screw you, entity, you ain't having this tonight. I choose no, right? So, as you are in your waking moments in your waking day, I want you to take 30 minutes out of your day, each and every day, until you feel more comfortable with this, because it's like muscle memory. It happens really quickly, and you develop it. So take 30 minutes out of your day, and I want you to simply, you can be sitting or you can be laying down. It doesn't matter, whatever you are doing to make yourself comfortable. But either way, when you are sitting or laying down, you cannot move, okay? So what I mean you cannot move is once you've found your position, you are going to stay there, okay? If you have an itch on your nose, you're not going to scratch it. If you feel like you want to shift your bum, you're not going to shift. If you feel like you want to shift your fingers, move your fingers or your toes, you're not going to do that. Your body needs to be asleep so your mind can come out. Now, it takes about 5 minutes, right? So 5 minutes into it, you're gonna stay there, right? You're not going to move. At that point, I want you to imagine, when you are at the point of not moving, I just want you to imagine closing your eyes and then literally look up, if you're lying down, you're going to close your eyes, and I want you to remember what the ceiling looks like, okay? Because once you close your eyes, I then want you to open your third eye, which is just your imagination at this point, right? And just envision what the ceiling looks like. Then when you're looking up at the ceiling, I want you to then cock your head up and look down at your body, right? Not your actual head, but I just mean in your imagination, right? In your imagination, which is not really your imagination, which is the ethereal, but we're going to say it's your imagination right now because it helps with the understanding. So then I want you to kind of look at your body, okay? Once you're looking at your body, I want you to imagine your arm raising up, and I want you to look at your arm. And then I want you to do the same thing with your other arm. And then I want you to put your arms back down. Then I want you to do the same thing with your feet. Push your feet up and kind of move your feet, sorry, without kicking your desk. I want you to just kind of move your feet like this, right? and look at yourself while you're doing it. When you are comfortable with that, I want you to come up. Oh, you're welcome, sweetheart. Sorry, your spirit is just saying thank you, because hopefully you're going to try this and you're going to solve it. So at that point, then you're going to get up. When you get up, I want you to sit up. Like, imagine you're sitting up in your body, you're looking at your feet, you're looking at your hands from a first-person point of view, and then I want you to turn around and look down at your sleeping head, the sleeping part of your body. So just remember what your hair looks like, what you're wearing, and so forth, and look back down and just be like, oh, there's Brandy. Once you see yourself, I then want you to get up, and I want you to walk around the room. Just walk around the room, okay? Once you've walked around the room, look back at your body, which you should see laying there all nice there. And I want you to get on top of your body, look at yourself, and I want you to turn around and then fall back into your body. Okay? So that's what I want you to do. All right? Try that simple practice for about 30 minutes a day. Now, the more open you get, the more you practice, the stronger it's going to be. You're going to remember, you're going to see more details in your room. You're going to see, if there's socks on the floor, you're going to see those socks. And you may come and see a very bright Kulipup going, hey, Brandy, how you doing? You know? And that's what we're going to do. You may see your spirit there. Or maybe both of us are sitting there going, you're doing great. This is boring, though, in this room. Come fly with us. And at that point, I want you to take my hand and just let me guide you, okay? Or let your spirit guide you. Doesn't matter, right? And then we're going to take you to see some cool stuff, because the bedroom can be boring after a while. And then we're going to return you back to your body. So that's what I want you to do. And this is for anybody else who is also suffering from sleep paralysis. It's just a matter of practice. It's like riding a bike. Once you've done it once, now you can do it forever. And then you can work on doing it in busy scenarios too. All right. So I hope that helps, Brandy. Wonderful. Regina, you say, the meat I have, you've cut back to 2 days a week so far. I'm not saying I'm cold turkey yet. I'll get there. Wonderful, sweetheart. Keep going. I tell you, my dear, when you get rid of all that extra meat, even though that's that extra 2 days that you're doing in there, oh my goodness, you are going to find that an amazing amount of energy does come back to you, and things get easier. Not only do your abilities get easier, but your vision gets stronger. You know, everything starts to strengthen and come to you much more easily. So please keep going, my sweetheart. Keep going. Greg, I think it was Jimi Hendrix. Not quite. It was Amistol, though. Virgin, okay, thank you. Yes, nice body. Yeah. He's so hot. Oh, God, that's why I tell you, like, you know, you're all so freaking gorgeous. Every single one of your spirits I can perv on, and I totally will perv on. All the time. Anyway. So Greg, you say, I've been getting a lot of synchronicities pertaining to him. I read, becoming Jimi Hendrix, and to my surprise, he was also into planets and the occult. Yes, look into it more. There's a reason why he's coming to you, right? Not necessarily in spirit form or anything like that, but look at his life, Greg. Look at his life. What happened? What lessons can you learn from Jimi Hendrix? Because Shaolin is no doubt still trying to get you to delve into your art full-time rather than part-time and really kind of kickstart this stuff up there. So he's probably throwing anything out of you, just be like, yes, get rid of the job, make music, make love all day long. It's going to be fabulous. Bless you. Okay. So let's have a look here. Kulipup, that makes me remember the angel I followed. Her hair was blonde. Oh, if you're talking about a long braid, or a long, very, very long blonde hair, that is an angel of death. Was that who she was? Yes. Angels of death normally have incredibly long blonde hair as well. Like, if it was blonde from root to tip. If it was brown on the top going into like an ombre blonde, you're cool then. That was just a regular angel, but angels of death normally come with the blonde hair from the root. Okay, so let's have a look here. So I'm going to try to get through these ones. So Brandy, you say, yes, I could see everything in my room and no one was there, but I felt like something bad was there. I got scared after I said your name and it stopped. Two creepy guys backed up a big truck and unloaded something into my closet. When I asked what they did, they just gave me a creepy smile and left. Still not sure. Something isn't in my closet. Well, it was like a scary Black Mirror episode. Ah, bless you, sweetheart. Yes. I want you to think, your entities like to eat your energy. They need it, okay? But they want to conserve as much of it as they can. So at the moment, what they did was the first time they came and it was the feeling of the presence, because they can alter your emotions. They can change, they can manipulate your emotions, right? They can trigger that fear feeling within you. And if they do that, they don't have to spend a lot of their energy on materializing in your vision, right? However, when you called my name, it stopped them, right? You woke up, everything's fine, but you fell back into it. And so now what they're going to do is you've given them energy again to be creative, but now they are going to have to use more to keep your fear more solidified, if that makes sense. Now they're like, okay, well, now we are going to make sure she sees something, because if you see it, you're more likely to remember it. And if you're more likely to remember that fear, you're more likely to continually see the same thing, as if even right now you are focusing on it. You are telling me about it, and you're saying that it still feels creepy, like you're not sure that something is in your closet. And I tell you this, it is nothing more than a hologram. I want you to think that all you're seeing right now with these entities is a big TV. It's a big TV, and all they're doing is putting images in front of you. These images cannot hurt you. They cannot harm you. They can do nothing to you, but they can trigger your fear if you allow it. And if you allow this 2D screen to trigger your fear, then they are still going to eat your energy. So we've got to really keep on track of that. But don't worry, follow the exercises, gain control of it, and when it happens again, you'll know what it is. And what I want you to do is when they show up again, I want you to literally surround, just imagine a lovely white ball surrounds them, right? Surrounds them in this lovely glowing white ball, and you can see them trapped there. And what I want you to do is I want you to imagine that ball getting smaller and smaller, and then I want you to smile. A smile, because as it's getting smaller and smaller, they're going to get smaller and smaller because they don't want to touch that ball. Because if they touch that light, they're going to be dissolved and they're going to die. So just watch as it goes. And you know what's wonderful? When you feel fear, but it's not your fear you're feeling, because you're smiling, you're happy. It's their fear that you're feeling now. You feel their fear, and you're like, yes. And then you become very sadistic, like Kulipup. When it comes to ridding entities. So anyway, or by all means, create your own very creative execution of entities, you know. Shoot laser beams at them, you know. Bind them. Simply say, I bind you. Don't you move. Like, you are not allowed to move. Bind them and watch how the fear overcomes them. And just decide, what is it I want to do with you? Oh, let me take away your leg. Oh, let me take away your arm. Let me zip tie your mouth across. Oh, you want to see fear? Let me show you my mirror. Sorry. I'm literally, again, I have been labeled by some spirits creatively cruel. The entities don't like it also. But screw them, I don't care. Anyway. Onoloka, you say, is there an exercise? I hope that helps, Brandy. Onoloka, you say, is there an exercise or a way to remember dreams and the memories from astral projections? Astral projections are far more easier to remember, because just the same way like it's easier to remember your day that you've experienced. Remembering your dreams and the memories. The best way I think that works for me is I stop trying to remember them, right? Often what happens is when we are having a dream that is a premonition, or we're having a dream that is, or an astral projection that we are learning something from it, right? Focus on what you remember, discard what you don't, and don't worry about it. right? The more you can do this, the more open you will become, and you'll find that it's easier to remember more parts of your dream. So I'm going to explain this way as well. You know, when it's like this. Onaloka, I want you to tell me every single thing that you've done in the last 3 days. From the time you woke up, we're Sunday. So on Friday morning, when you woke up on Friday morning to this very moment, I want you to tell me every single thing you did. So from when you woke up, what pajamas, what did you wear? What time did you brush your teeth? What toothpaste did you brush your teeth with? You know, did you use mouthwash? What did you have for breakfast on Friday morning? What mug did you use if you had coffee? You know, what butter did you use if you had it on your toast? You know, who did you speak to? What happened? And I want you to recall all of that. Frankly, you'll probably get pissed off and just be like, I don't give a shit. I can tell you the main points of what I did. You know, I can tell you I went to work. I can tell you I spoke to this person. I watched a show, or I discovered something new online. You know, you can say, you can remember those things, but to remember every finite detail of your day is exhausting, because let's face it, a lot of the information is useless to us, so we discard it. Same thing with dreams. Don't try to remember your entire dream. Focus on what it is that you do remember, right? So if you only remember one thing, focus on that and just be like, what was that? I had to do that very many times. There were times when I would wake up and all I have is a vision of light and wards going in certain directions. And I'm like, what is this? I don't know what it is. And, you know, you have this urge to try to retrace your steps, but it's like, nah, I can't retrace my steps, so let me focus on this light. What do I remember? Well, I remember it going in a clockwise direction. I remember 2 strands of light coming together and spiraling up into a big ball, and then I can inquire it with my cognizance and with my smell, with my heart. I'm like, what is that? And then I deduce, and it all comes back, right? I just learned through visual process what is the process of combining energies to make a new soul, right? Things like that. So although I dreamt the whole process, I had to just focus on what is it I remembered, and I got the overall lesson anyway, so it's cool. But that's what I can suggest. Don't focus so that you can focus on everything, if that makes sense. Virgin, yes, Kulipup, in your dream it's fun. I saw her in mine. Oh, yeah, so see Kulipup in your dream, it's fun. I saw her in mine. Yeah, I like to have fun. I do. I like to teach you all sorts of stuff in your dreams. Oh, you're very welcome, Brandy. Very welcome. Oh, Greg, I meant to say it was him. I was channeling him. Oh, for Jimi Hendrix. Wonderful. Wonderful. What did you learn from it? What did Jimmy have to tell you? Right? What did he have to tell you? Yes. So, Greg, I'm going to ask you, though, to just look at a little bit in depth to Jimmy, okay? A little bit more into depth. When you are channeling Jimmy, I want you to feel your heart at the same time. When his words are coming through, when something associates with Jimmy, I want you to feel your heart, and I want you to feel the vibration as it's happening, okay? If your heart is tingling and vibrating and pulsating a very, very warm, wonderful feeling, then I want you to trust the information that's come through. If you feel nothing, or perhaps a little bit of a stabbing pain like somebody is pushing on parts of your chest, or maybe it's located down here, right? If that's the case, look into it again. Reassess the information that you've just gained, okay? Because it's imperative right now that we do not get thrown off track by some individuals who may be playing upon your journey and your thoughts, okay? So that's all I'm going to say on that one, sweetheart. Okay. So let's have a look here. Regina, you say, yes, I got signs. That is when my friend died last week. Ah, yes. So no doubt if you're seeing the lady with long blonde hair, that makes sense. Angels of death, right? And I'm sorry about your friend, sweetheart. I am, truly. But I love you, and just know that call out my name if you ever, or Lupe as well, Master Lupe, if your heart needs help. All right, sweetie? Okay. Greg, you say, proud to say I finally did kick the job. Wonderful. I just opened a car wash, in which is something I tried before, awakening. It will allow me the freedom to make music and control it, aka not selling my soul. I remember you told me to focus on numbers and providing a service, so I think this is perfect to allow the energy to flow. I just got to throat chakra, so I'm noticing my voice change in chance and rhythm I didn't notice before. That is wonderful. That is wonderful. Greg, I will say this, though. I'm so excited that you just opened your car wash and that you have your business and it's going well. But do just know that Sholin is going to continually push you to stop all forms of work and to focus purely on your music, purely on your voice, purely on your light, and purely on your love. So you still have your fantastically beautiful spirit there. By the way, Sholin is gorgeous too. I will totally perv on you all day, Sholin. Like, all day. But Sholin is going to continually encourage you to quit altogether and devote full time to music. And I cannot wait to, you know what, I'm not going to say I can't wait. I look forward to experiencing that when I can listen to your music fully. I think it's going to be absolutely fabulous. And it's so funny. You may find, though, Greg, that as you're saying that your voice, the changes in your rhythm, you should also find changes in your speech, changes in the way you pronounce things, changes in the way things can now roll off your tongue. Languages may come to you very, very quickly now as well, because you have the ability to speak them in a beautifully fluent way as well. So bear that in mind. It's very, very funny. It's not, well, it's funny, but it's fun. So Odoloko, Baha, yep, you're right. I don't care about everything I did. Exactly, right? Exactly. When it comes to the dreams, like, you don't give a shit. You go let what it is that you want to know. Right. So you're very, very welcome, sweetheart. Regina, thank you so much. I learned a lot today. So very much. Thank you. You're very welcome, sweetheart. And keep progressing. You're going to do absolutely wonderful. Because you got to think you're so powerful at this moment. Keep investing in yourself and watch your light shine and how far you go. You know, what the beauty of the universe and what it holds, what it has in store for you. It's going to be amazing. So keep going. Hi, Onala, sweetheart. Hi. Hi, Tricolo. Hello, my dear. Hello. Right. So I think I have gotten through all of my questions, all of the questions that were posed to me. So while I am looking for a little bit more here, I'm just going to see. I don't think I have any further questions, to be honest with you. So if any, so Onala, Tricola, my sweetheart, if you guys have a quick question that you want me to answer, I'm happy to do it now. Otherwise, I'm going to be saying goodnight for tonight. But let's have a look here. Greg, you say, yep, most definitely. I noticed my voice changing as well. Some told me they heard a difference. So this is double confirmation. Yes. You know, Greg, it's very funny because my voice just got deeper. My voice has dropped about 2 octaves. Or sorry, about 1.5 octaves or so since I've awoken. My voice used to be very much more high pitched and so forth, and now I'm just like, when I came into my male energy, I was just like, oh my gosh, I sound like a man. Just because I'm in my male energy, oh my gosh, I'm going to do it. But no, my spirit's voice is naturally deep. But you'll find that there's a lot of spirits who have very deep voices. We just all normally have very deep, soothing, just oohing kind of voices. It's very, very relaxing, very comfortable. And it's wonderful hearing your spirit sing. It's just like, oh my gosh, it's like a little private concert. It's nice. Oh, bless you. Okay, so Onala finally got to hop on. Oh, wonderful. I'm so glad that you did, my sweetheart. Please ask a question. Michelle, evening Kulipup. Hello, my sweetheart. So happy to see you live. I'm happy you are here with me. Love your knowledge and advice for us all. Oh, bless you. Well, I'm here to give it. So please, if you wanna ask a question now, please do so because I'm about to pop off. Tricola, I just want to say thank you. Oh, bless you, sweetheart. And thank you ever so much for being you and for, still delving into your inner work and still going and still seeking. Even though when we feel like there's nothing more we can seek to know, I still thank you for going deeper because the power that you have when you discover it by going deeper is amazing, and you will do so very much, my sweetheart. So again, I'm looking forward to it. Oh, hi, Michelle, and thank you very much, sweetheart. Okay, so any other questions? Any other questions? If not, then that is it from me for tonight. So I will just let you guys know what we are going to be doing. So we've done the video on the Crown of Glory. If you didn't see that earlier, I definitely recommend giving it a watch if you are interested in more Crowns of Glory and more knowledge on that. I'm going to be sharing a few more videos of my older videos according to the conversation that we've had today. The next video, the next lesson that I want to do is going to be all about the ethereal dimension versus the material or the physical dimension. So for my visionaries out there, for my healers out there, when you are healing through astral projection or through energy manipulation, especially distance energy manipulation or face-to-face energy manipulation, this is really going to help you, because when you can visualize and when you can see the ethereal for what it is, you will literally affect change immediately within the material. So that's one of the things we're going to do. And I'm also going to be making a personal healing video, okay? Because I know a lot of people are just like, hey, Kulipup, can you heal me on this? Can you heal me on that? And I'm like, yeah, but I know that since I'm going to be going off grid soon, I'm not going to have access to the internet all the time or for as much length of time as I do now. So I'm going to be making this video so that whenever you need some healing, all you got to do is pop on YouTube, let the video play, and that's going to activate the energy around you to get you some healing. So we're going to do that. Oh, okay. So I'm going to just ask, I'm just going to read this this question from Michelle before we go. Okay, I do have a question. I seem to have this gift where when friends, family get close to death, I feel what they are going through. I found a friend died this morning. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, sweetie. I had chest pains, and I know it was his heart. He was very young. I wonder how I know, and when I was given this gift. I have no idea yet how he passed away, but I do feel it was his heart. Yep, that is fabulous, sweetheart. Not the fabulous that your friend had passed. I'm very sorry for that. But the feelings that you're getting, right? Because at the end of the day, Michelle, you're empathic and you're sentient. What you're doing is you are tuning in to the individuals upon their death. Their emotions, no doubt, are running very, very high. Sorry, one moment. Okay, so you are a Horiant, empathic, sentient healer of hearts and minds. This is for Michelle, and I'm saying this to you, Michelle, because I'm called to say it at the moment, so I just had to clarify. Anything else? Nope, that was all I needed to do to clarify. Okay, so what's happening, though, is in these individuals' time of fear, because you know the fear of death, the passing, and so forth, your empathy and your sentience is linking to them because your focus is on them, right? Or your energy signature, something is calling out to you, right? You being an empathic healer, right? Your frequency is no doubt at the moment telling people, come to me for healing. So you're summoning a lot of things, whether it be beknownst to you or not. However, when these people come to you, you are directly empathizing with them. Empathy is energy manipulation and control. Now, to manipulate or control energy, you need to feel it, right? You need to feel it and you need to know it. So what I'm going to suggest is that when you are coming around people and you are vibrating with them and your energy is vibrating with them, I want you to focus on them, okay? And I want you to focus on you. But I want you to, when you're focusing on you, I want you to focus on how you want to feel in this moment. And hopefully that is happy, at peace, at ease, at calm. Because what you're going to do is you're going to manipulate that in other individuals' energy to feel what you're feeling. So if I am in the presence of somebody who is passing or who is going to be passing soon, the energy that I emit is because I'm like you. I can feel them. I can feel their fear. I can feel their frustration. I can feel how lost they are. And I don't want anybody to feel that way, especially when they're going through this scary kind of time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that around, and because I'm connected to them, I'm going to focus on my energy, and I'm going to feel at peace, calm, serene, and know that everything's going to be okay. Because when I feel that in my heart, they feel that in their heart. And when they feel that in their heart, they can either transition very nicely, or they're going to feel that love in their heart, and it's going to kickstart them, and they're going to kind of be able to self-heal, maybe that last-ditch attempt. But that's what this overall healing is about, right? So yes, do not be surprised. With this great awakening, with the energy increases that are going on, you are going to feel a lot more. And it's not just going to, at the moment you're feeling people in their part of despair, but you're going to feel their joys. Random people on the street, people in the grocery store. You're going to start feeling their joys, their pains, their sorrows, their happiness. So the best thing to do right now, honey, is to be aware and make sure you have control of your own emotions first and foremost. So focus on yourself now. Otherwise, when you walk out the door, it's going to become really overwhelming. And you're just going to be like, I don't want to go outside. But you can't live and experience life if you don't go out, right? So there we go. Okay. So anyway, oops. Personal healing video. Sorry about that. So personal healing video is coming your way so that you can physically get healing whenever you want, and also connecting the ethereal to the material and understanding that a little bit more. So we're going to be doing that as well. If you have any other lessons that you'd like to learn, or lesson ideas, please post them in the group, because I am back and I'm going to be a hell of a lot more active as I'm focusing on you guys now. So please let me know what it is that you may be curious about learning, and of course I'm going to come back at you with some new lessons and some good, some really good stuff. So thank you ever so much. Oh, let's have a look here. Sorry, Greg, you say, oh, you are very, very welcome, Michelle, my sweetheart. Greg, you say, I send positive vibes out to all upon their journey of Jacob's Ladder. That is beautiful. Thank you. I will help amplify that. I'm so grateful to be a part, a group so dope. We are pretty cool, I know. It's a collective. It's amazing that we get to mend our minds together for the same great cause. Kulipup, again, I really appreciate you and all you do. You are truly amazing, and I love you, sweetheart. You are also truly amazing, and you're finding that out day by day, and I love to see the progression. Hope to catch the next live. Peace and love until next time. Bye-bye, sweetheart. Have a fantastic evening. Wonderful, Michelle. Please continue to work on yourself, sweetheart. You will do so very, very well. I know it. Just remember, if the emotions get a little bit too overwhelming and too confusing, just like always follow my rule and just go, screw it, I'm having cake and a nap, right? Cake and a nap. It solves a lot of things and helps you reset. Amishtal, empathy really is a superpower. In my opinion, it is the first gift because it is the strongest and hardest to master. Yes, and it is part of our nature. Empathy is literally what we are. We are all part of one universal energy. It is within our own being to feel our own energy, and that is empathy, right? So anyway, thank you so much. Have a fantastic evening, you guys. Take care.